Welcome to Frequency Matters, the RF and Microwave Update. I'm Pat Hindle, and I'm here with my co-host Gary Lerude. In this episode, we thought we would cover our March cable and connector supplement. And the cover story is written by a collaboration of Rosenberger, Huber and Sooner, and Radial, and they've teamed together to develop a new connector interface, the NEX10. And this is a really capable connector. It is 50% smaller than the 4310 connector, which is currently kind of the state-of-the-art being deployed. And it also has pin performance of -166 dBc. So it's a rugged, reliable connector that I think will be probably in the future for massive MIMO and 5G applications.
Right, sounds like it.
How about for other technical features?
Well, related to that, we're lucky to have an article from Earl Lum of EJL Wireless Research, who's talking about some of the trends in the base station market and what that's doing to the connector market. And it's really interesting, as you know, with LTE going up to 8x8 MIMO, more frequency spectrum, antennas are getting more complex. You've got the in-building distributed antenna systems with more antennas around. And looking at 5G, you've got massive MIMO, where you'll have 8x8 arrays. So all that's really driving the connector market, making for good business for the connector suppliers.
Yeah, it sounds like the place to be for the next 5 or 10 years.
Exactly. Then we also have another interesting technical feature, this one by David Slack of Times Microwave. He's written an interesting article on minimizing temperature-induced phase errors in coaxial cables, so that's worth a read as well. How about products?
For product features, we had Spectrum Electrotechnik in Germany, and they were talking about their high-power duplexers, and these are customized to the application, so they can accommodate different connectors and different shapes, and for very high-power applications in the L and S band. And then we also had Atlantic RF's VNA test cable line, and those are either capable to 40 or 50 gigahertz, and they're also abrasion and crush resistant, so very good quality cables. And finally, we had Fairview Microwave's waveguide twists, and those are 45 and 90 degree orientations that are available in K through W band. For those, you can get those complicated waveguide structures in various shapes.
Yeah, waveguide is not very malleable, so you need something like that.
It's tough. How about for tech briefs?
So tech briefs, we have 4 from Insulated Wire, a low-loss coaxial cable that they're offering. Ardent Concepts has an interesting solderless twist-to-lock compression mount connector, which is kind of novel because the only thing that's required on the printed circuit board is basically like a landing pad and some vias. So you can basically mount the connector on the board, which is useful if you're doing development runs and you're doing quick board spins. So you don't have to put a lot of hardware on the board and then end up throwing it away. We also have a high-performance multi-port interconnect system that's offered by Carlisle Interconnect. And then another one that's kind of interesting from Cinch Connectivity Systems is a secure 50 ohm termination. And what I mean by that is you put the 50 ohm termination on and then there's a shell over it, and you can't take the termination off without a special tool. And anyone who's worked in a lab tends to know that 50 ohm terminations tend to walk away. So this keeps it on the equipment, which is important if you've got it
safety factor,
as a test system. It could, losing it could cause measurement errors, and as well as failure with the reflected signal going back in. So I thought that was kind of novel. So how about news?
So in the news, there were a lot of market reports out. So ABI Research reported that they expect GaN to capture 25% market share of the mobile infrastructure market. So I think everybody thought in 2016 GaN was really going to penetrate that market, but it was kind of a lukewarm market share. And now this year in 2017, they look to really establish a significant share of that market.
That's impressive.
Yeah, and then also Yole announced that they expect the RF front-end module market revenue to go about 2 times what it is in 2016 over the next 5 years. So it's expected to grow from about 10 billion to 22 billion in 2022. And the big winner in that is the RF filter, which expects to about triple in revenue. Currently in 2016 it was 5 billion. They expect it to go over 16 billion by 2022. So you can see why there's so much activity in filter capability and filter manufacturing, because it's really driving the market.
Right, that's really fueling the growth for the Broadcoms and Qorvos and Skyworks.
Right. How about you for the news?
So an interesting thing that caught me a little bit by surprise, ON Semiconductor announced that they were acquiring the millimeter wave R&D group from IBM that's based in Haifa, Israel.
Right.
And that includes all the IP, the facility, the staff, and so forth. And what ON's strategy is to basically apply all that capability to millimeter wave radio millimeter wave radar for automotive applications. And the interesting thing, and this I didn't know, is ON currently is a major player in terms of imaging for automotive. They say they have like 50% share of the automotive market for imaging, and they claim 70% share for ADAS type systems. So what this allows them to do is bring two sensor technologies together, really create a leadership position, because then they can fuse the technologies together.
Yeah, you really need the different types of sensors playing together for full autonomy.
Right. So that I thought was really interesting and a major step for them. The other thing I'll mention from the satellite show, Kymeta announced that after several years of development, they're now ready to basically go to market with their metamaterials-based antenna for moving systems like airplanes to satellite.
Right.
And they're offering the antenna as well as a terminal, and these are providing a complete system for satellite interconnection. And associated with that, they made an announcement with Intelsat that they're actually offering a service using Intelsat satellites to make the connection from their ground terminal and antenna. And they are kind of modeling this like a cellular plan, in that people will only buy a certain amount of gigabytes per month or per time period.
Right.
So it's different than having to lease a full transponder.
Everybody loves those recurring revenue models.
Right. So we'll see how this plays out. But they said they're taking reservations. They're going to start field trials in May of this year.
Oh, very interesting.
So how about events?
So we're kind of a few weeks off of Mobile World Congress, and at the IEEE Wireless Communications and Networking Conference, NI demonstrated one of the first over-the-air real-time prototypes to the Verizon 5G specification, which was much talked about. And this is a very innovative system. It has 28 gigahertz operating frequency using OFDM and 8 component carriers and a 2x2 MIMO configuration for a multi-user MIMO downlink. And they were able to achieve 5 gigabits per second peak data rate. And this is scalable to 20 gigabits per second using 8 MIMO streams. So it could be really capable for 5G systems already being developed and prototyped. And NI was able to put this together with their millimeter wave transceiver system and the Inoki Wave Ball aerospace antenna array that operates at 28 gigahertz. And we've seen that array appear in several demos lately.
Right, exactly. I saw it at Satellite.
Anything else for you?
Just a recap of Satellite. We talked a little bit about it last time, but I finished a summary of the show. That's online on our website, so our viewers can watch it. And we have
pictures.
Some pictures. We have a photo gallery, some of the scenes of the different customers we met with, as well as some of the other sites there. So it was a good show, a lot of energy there.
Great. And I just wanted to remind everybody that the EDI CON USA call for abstracts is open, so you can go to ediconusa.com and submit an abstract for consideration.
Yeah, we're looking forward to seeing what everybody submits. So I think that's a wrap. We want to thank you for watching this episode, and we're still open for sponsors. If your company would like to join us, we'd love to have you. And until the next episode, we hope you'll join us then. Thank you.